Hello, everyone, and welcome to my preview of Sandown tomorrow for Bellmaine Stakes Day. Gonna be a cracking day's racing back at Sandown, so the track should race a bit more evenly than Moonee Valley last week. So let's hope for a good day's racing and let's hope for more winners than last week, as I do get on to last week, and we can see that it wasn't great. 88 spend, 50.4 return. It's not terrible, but it's a loss, so it's not great. That brings our PAT down overall to 4.91, which is just hanging on to positive. So let's hope to improve that this week. Um, the winners last week we got were two each way on No Secret in race 3. That did well. That paid nicely as well. Had a little saver on that from the Dane on Tour. And Jigsaw 10 the win, did very well to win the Australia Stakes, and hopefully they go towards an Oakley plate with that horse. So we'll get started then. Race number 1, a benchmark 78 over the 1,000 metres, and this is a good horse, Inundation. Had heat stress last start, missed behind on the lead, who's since come out and run very well behind Star Patrol at Sandown, the same as Starry Legend ran third in that WJ Adams Stakes behind Star Patrol in Australia Day. So good form out of the race before that, ran track record time at the Valley, beating Unflinching and okay to pay. So this horse has class. It's got 61 kilos, which is, I guess, a little bit of a query, but it deserves to have 61 kilos. J Car will be on speed from gate 2, and I think it'll just win. Inundation tomorrow. Zorro's Dream can improve second up. Fire, very interesting horse. I think this horse can win tomorrow. It's still lightly raced. Finished half a length only behind Chain of Lightning last prep, so it's got some potential. Is good first up. Is proven at the Sandown Hillside track and over 1,000 metres. So I wouldn't be surprised if that wins. But Inundation's a pretty good horse. I like No Way Ever at a bit of a price. Run down Unflinching last start. Luna Cat has come out of the race and since done well, so has Unflinching. Celine Gorgeau brings the horse down to 55 kilos. 6 kilos off Inundation. Gate 1, I'm hoping, can settle a little bit closer, maybe suck up in behind Inundation, and there's plenty of room in the straight. So hopefully No Way Ever can be running well. And this is the X Factor Colt Mullane. Thinking in the mind of Peter Moody, why is he kicking it off at 1,000 metres and not 1,200 or 1,100 in its own 3-year-old class? I'm not sure. It's just a bit of an X factor for me, and people are going to say, 1,000 metres too short. Well, why is Peter Moody running him then? Blinkers first time, nose roll off. I haven't got it in my strategy, but gee, I wouldn't be surprised if it wins. So in the first race tomorrow, I've got 8 the win on Inundation and 1 each way on No Way Ever, because I think it can improve. So Inundation is pretty safe tomorrow, unless it has heat stress again. Race number 2 is the 2-year-old Chairman Stakes over 1,000 metres at Group 3 level. This is another very interesting race. Zolfikar coming off a Maribyrnong plate campaign, won the trial version pretty well. Did it in a reasonable time. They went slow and just sprinted, and it sprinted pretty well, and then went to the Maribyrnong plate, and I think it came to the end of its preparation when it finished 3 lengths behind Cracker Rib. It's got the blinkers for the first time, which I think is good. Gate 1 can probably either lead or sit right in behind the leaders. It's being brought down from Sydney by James Cummings. Why would they bring it down here and not just stay in Sydney? Maybe they're going for the Blue Diamond. We'll see what transpires tomorrow, but I think Zolfikar's a pretty good chance. VC was a very good winner on debut at Flemington in a 2-year-old handicap over the 1,100. Zoomed away from them. I don't see the step back to 1,000 metres being much of an issue, and if it shows what it did on debut, it should be probably winning. Serastan is another very interesting horse. I was there at Sandown when it won that day on the 10th of December, and I just went, wow. I think this horse has got a lot of ability. Dean Yendall sticks. It's drawn outside BC, so it can hopefully get the back of it or be outside of it in the run. It doesn't matter if it's 3 wide because I've only got 1 turn at the hillside track. I'll probably prefer it to be on the back of VC though, tracking it into the race, and it's probably out of them too. They ran a very quick time here at Sandown as well, 56.95. There was only 0.11 off Inundation's track record at the Valley, but different tracks mean different things. Extremely Wicked, wouldn't be surprised if that one, but B Mellon gets off. Ridden Bly out of the first starters, I thought was the one to beat. Gate 9 will be on speed and giving it self every chance, but in the second race at Sandown, I'm with Sarasana. I wasn't very confident. Like, I wanted to have VC in there as well, but what's the point of having the two favourites under $3 in your strategy? There's no point in that. So, Sarasana, I think, represents more value and still has a bit of an untapped potential on the way to the Blue Diamond. Race number 3, a 3-year-old benchmark 70 over the 1,800 metres. Hennessy Lads come up the favourite. Carlene Heffel rode Crimson Light to victory last start. Can she keep it going with a win on Hennessy Lad? Gate 3 will be on speed. Ran okay behind Ima Shelby and Caesar last start. Before that, missed behind Papillon Club. Michelotti was very close up behind Hennessy Lad that day. And Michelotti's in this race paying $11 and Hennessy Lad's $2.80. So not sure what's going on there. Hennessy Lad can win, but I'm happy not to be on. Black Max, I think, can win. Gate 5 will be somewhere between midfield and on speed for Lindsay Smith. Good winner of a Class 1 last start, beating Baracello and Miss Keeler, who both ran, I thought, only fair last night at Pakenham. I haven't got it on top, but Black Max is in my top 4. Michelotti should be closer in the market to Hennessy Lad, judging off its Papillon Club run. The one I'm with is Acosta, coming down from Sydney, won at Newcastle on debut and a maiden, sat on speed and just kept running away, and then second up last start at Newcastle in a 64. Couldn't pick up the leader, Showtime Lady, but through the line was very strong. It'll eat up 1,800, and I think it'll be even better suited at 2,000 metres. Why is Waterhouse Spot bringing this horse down? It's a benchmark 64 horse. Why would they bring it down to Melbourne for? They're going to bring it down for a 3-year-old benchmark 70 over 1,800. I just find it a little bit weird that they're bringing it down here. And it's been backed in well today, 750 into 550. I like the push from the punters and Gay Waterhouse herself. Northern Barrage, I think, is over the odds. Good winner at Pakenham last start, zooming down the outside. If it settles close enough tomorrow, it can do the same thing. Toll Puddle, Gate 1, Blake McDougall will also run okay. It'll probably have to improve a few lengths to win, but still got a bit of untapped potential under the bonnet. So for race 3 at Sandown, I'm happy to go with 10 the win on Acosta. I liked it more when it was 750, obviously, but 550 now. Can't really do much about that. Geordie Childs can hopefully steer it to victory tomorrow. Race number 4, a 3-year-old fillies benchmark 78 over the 1,300 metres, and there's 2 clear-cut favourites that I like in this race. And the first one's Benedetta. Has won 2 on the trot and looking to make it 3 for Dan Stackhouse. Won really well last night. Beat Freeways, who ran pretty well at Pakenham last night. From gate 10, we'll probably have to go back or try and slot in 3-year-old with cover midfield. I assume they're going to go back to near last, which is my only little concern considering the short price of $2.25. But Stackhouse has won on it before, and it has the ability to loop the field. We'll go down to the next, Discerning ran behind Benedetta last start. We'll be settling in similar positions, so I don't think Discerning can turn the tables, but I don't think it will. Bellmaine is the other one I like. I think this horse is a very good horse, Bellmaine. We just haven't seen the best of it. Won on debut, coming from last to win at Geelong, then went to Sandown in a sit and sprint and couldn't pick up Nikoni, who I reckon is a really, really good horse. Then went to the Twilight Glow, missed the start, got back to near last. I don't know if you remember that race, but the Unicorn for Waterhouse Spot had the Rosemont colours, went out like the Clappers, leading by 8 lengths, and it was sort of set up for the Swoopers. Vienna Princess won that race. Nikoni just settled too close to that speed, and Bellmaine was flashing. It's got the winkers for the first time. It was a bit green that day at Caulfield. Has the winkers for the first time. So C. Williams hopefully can get it out of the gates okay, and it can be midfield. hopefully, that's what I'm hoping, in front of Benedetta in the run. And I reckon Bellmaine, even though it might not be ready first up, has the ability to win. I could hardly split these two, so I'm just going to go with a $10 boxed Quinella, and that'll get us 1,000% whatever happens. So if I had to lean to one, probably Bellmaine, considering the price, and Benedetta probably short price, and I'll probably have to get back to near last. So Bellmaine if I'm picking one, but happy with the Quinella. I think they're the two clear chances. Race 5, a benchmark 70 over the 1,400 metres. Let's get on with it. Superazi finished close up behind Shove Over last start. I was on it last start at $19, and it was painful to watch, but Superazi doing very well this preparation. Will be right there again, giving its all. Milford Sound, I reckon, is way over the odds. We've only seen it once in Australia, and that was on a bogged track behind Fengarada with the 62 kilos. It's jumped out pretty well this time in, doing some good work through the line. And if it's improved this campaign, Mike Moroney, probably it'll be better, second, third up over further. But 60 to 1 seems over the odds. Rhinoceros, good last start winner at Pakenham. Muro Dandy, I've got close to my top pick. I think it's actually my top pick. Was very good behind Ima Shelby and Caesar. Before that was a good winner at Geelong, beating Girello and Piaggio, coming from off the speed to win, or actually was last out of 8. Before that was good behind Superazi, but should settle closer in the run tomorrow, and I reckon will be hard to beat with Johnny Allen in the saddle. Victory Bay will settle closer from gate 5 compared to this day against Shove Over and Superazi. It's doing okay. Hasn't won for a while. It's won 2 from 10. In a wide open race, I was happy to let it slip by. British Columbia, I've got in my top 4. Was good behind Shove Over and Superazi. Will be fitter third up for Geordie Childs and has ability. Marlin's Dream, I thought was actually finishing better than Victory Bay last start. This horse is $15 and Victory Bay's $4.20. So that's probably one of the reasons why I was happy to take on Victory Bay. And Marlin's Dream could represent value. Gate 1, the only query. Unusual Culture will be... Well, the only query, it'll have to get back again off a potentially slow speed, but was good first up and can go on with it now. The one I think's over the odds is Rheinberg. Won its main very impressively at Sandown, beating Oceanique and Skinny Dip, and has since gone to Sandown and ran second behind Nunthorpe, who's a very good horse in a Class 1. I think it can take the next step tomorrow, beyond speed from Gate 8 and Mickey D, and can run well. So, race 5 at Sandown, I'm having 6 to win on Euro Dandy and 2 each way on Rheinberg. I'm happy with them too. I like them 2 chances tomorrow. The first of the quaddy legs is a benchmark 84 over the 1,300 metres, the Graham Archibald Girdwood Classic. A few horses resuming, that's very handy. Let's start with the first one, Daytona Bay. Did well last preparation. It was close up behind Cardinal Gem at Caulfield. Won as a short price favourite at Flemington next up, betting Jimmy the Bear and Umgawa, who were 2 very good horses. Jimmy the Bear has come out and won some listed races in open class, and Umgawa has done really well at handicap level as well. And then went to Sandown on a very heavy 10 and just got the job done. Will be suited by the soft-ish track tomorrow. It's not going to be bogged, but soft-ish. And I think it's the one to beat for Jay Carr. He's exceptional, will be forward. William Thomas, I don't think can do it again. Someone asked me about Conqueror. I'd like to see it. The second up record is not great. I'd like to see it do it in Australia first. I know it's done in Australia before, but since it's come back from Hong Kong, I'd like to see it do it first. Morrissey, it's a good chance, I think. Gate 8 will be closer than it usually is. If it lives up to any of these runs, it rests wide without cover here, so discard this run. But at Flemington behind Nicolini Vito was pretty good, and yeah, can run well again. I don't think it'll beat the top 2, but can run well for Jeter San. Everyone's probably wondering why John McNeil's not riding. I think it's because he's been in Hong Kong and hasn't done all the lead-up work. Damien Oliver's been riding it in all of its jump outs, so I'm just assuming that's why. For Jeter San, we'll probably want further in time, but has shown ability over short course distances, winning at 1,400 before. It'll be probably behind, Daytona Bay in the run. So I think he deserves to be his price that he is at the moment. So I'm having 7 the win on Daytona Bay, but I don't want to lose if Vegeta Sam wins because I think it's going very well this prep, and we could see the best of it. So them two first up resuming, I think, are very good. Race number 7 is the feature, the Group 3 Bellmaine Stakes for the mares over the 1,300 metres. Flying Mascot ran second in this race last year, and we all know what it went on to after that. It won the Mannerism on Blue Diamond Day. Very good form reference. The horse that beat it, Probabile. And what a horse that was. Exalita, I think, is way over the odds tomorrow. Is the class runner in the race, coming off an Empire Rose campaign where it placed behind Ice Bath and Mirror Vision, beat La Creek, who would probably be $1.50 in this race. Before that was okay in the Tristark, and then was very good in the Blazer, beating Argentia, who's a good horse, and She's All Class, who ended up being a pretty good horse in the spring. So Gate 5, first up, record might not look great, but it's run some slashing races first up before. It just hasn't finished in the top 3 on those occasions. So Exalita, the class runner in the race, I think can win. Vespertine, in my opinion, I think it might just get too far back tomorrow in a big field, but we'll be winding up late, and we saw it in the Standish how it worked through the line. It was very strong, so keep that safe. Diamonds in the Sky, don't know what went wrong here. I was on last start at Flemington, I don't know what went wrong. Belle Riche has to take the next step to win, but has rock-hard fitness on its side, and it's a last start winner. Road to Arataki, there it is. Got its own way last start behind beating Shuffle Dancer and Belle Riche. The format of that race is good, but it led at a very, very slow speed. It's not going to get the same again. Don't even know if it'll go forward again. And if it does, it might get caught without cover. But if it goes back, it might get too far back. So JK has a big decision to make. Before that was pretty good behind Life Lessons and Belle Riche. So, I mean, it can do well. But I haven't got it. Snapped, I think, is the class runner in the race. Coming back from Sydney, where it started odds-on favourite, ran well. Before that, dominant at Sandown, beating Capital Theatre and Who Shot Susie. That horse can definitely win for Mark Zahra. I'm happy with its chances and not much apart from that. So, in race 7 at Sandown, the Bellmaine Stakes, I'm having 6 the win on Snapped and 2 each way on Exalita, the class horse of the race. So them two in the Bellmaine. So race 8, the benchmark 100 over 1800. I narrowed it down to a couple, but I couldn't split them. So let's have a look at them. The scratching of Right and Rose means Detonator Jack is odds-on favourite again. Yeah, I like Detonator Jack tomorrow. It's going to have to get a long way back again, and there doesn't look to be a whole lot of pressure, but it's Detonator Jack, and you know what you're going to get from him, a very good run. So Gate 11 will have to go back, was fair behind Sosibon last start, but Sosibon had the perfect run, and I think Detonator Jack can probably make it back to winning ways on Saturday, which is tomorrow. Right you are. I like from a form perspective, but why did it get scratched from the Spirit Ridge race 3 weeks ago? Maybe it had a setback, and if that's so, I don't really want to be with it, and that's why I haven't got it tomorrow, but can run well. Bel Toro. The Visors went on here, and they worked a treat. I've got this horse in my strategy just because I think it's the Visor theorem, the Visor syndrome. Now, the only query is it's never performed on a soft track before, but if it's a soft 5 or good 4 by that stage of the day, it wouldn't matter. Hopefully the Visor theorem pays off. Stars of Karam, I know it hasn't won for ages, and I've talked it up last start, but it ran very well, finishing 3rd last start, and I think it's over the odds again at 50 to 1 or $35 now. John McNeil on the minimum, ran well last start behind Spirit Ridge. I think it can go well again, Stars of Karam. But in race 8, with 7 the win on Detonator Jack, I'm not going to get much of a return if it wins, but 3 the win on Bel Toro, keeping it safe because of the Visor theorem. It was wearing the visors right here. I think that was the same day. Yeah, let's hope so. We'll move on to the last then. Race 9, a benchmark 78 over the 1,700 metres. Glory Days, second up off an overseas campaign, was good at Warrnambool first up. The step up to 1,700 will suit. Was an Epsom Derby runner, so it's probably too good for this field. It'll be better once it gets up to 2,000, but it should be running well for Mark Zara. 60 kilos as well. St. Lawrence, we'll have to take another step. I'm able to take it on tomorrow. It's a fairway in between runs, but we'll see what happens. Timor, I took this horse up last start, and it ran second last. I'm with this horse on top again. I've sort of fallen in love with this horse unintentionally. Mickey D, 60 kilos, gate 6. It was about to explode through the line at Flemington, and it got held up for a run. Just took a while to get going. I think there's going to be more tempo in this race. The step up to 1,700 will suit ideally. And if it doesn't get left flat-footed and they really, go along at even a moderate tempo, this horse can win, and I'm happy to be on at 20-1 again. So I'm with Timor again. Hasseltoff, I think can run well. Gate 9 will be charging home late. River Plate, D. Oliver, Gate 2 will be on speed. Can go on with it. I'm not with it. And So You See, very good winner beating Down on Tour and Liberated Girl. Down on Tour didn't do much last week, and Liberated Girl, was 3-1 without cover, so it was an inconclusive run. But So You See has the ability to go on with it, and I think that's about it. Yeah. So for the last, I'm just going to have 5 each way on Timor. I don't think, it's a clear top pick. Like, I like Glory Days and So You See, but Timor is my on-top selection. So we'll head on with the back second crack. I'm going to back Exalita. $10, I think, is way over the odds. Sack Hennessy Lad, I just think it's too short, and I talked about that Michelotti thing. So even though I think it's got a good winning chance, it's just the price thing with these taking on favourites. And the crack Inundation, I just think it's too good for that field tomorrow and should just win. Now, the quaddies, I haven't got the numbers up today, so you're going to have to go read them for yourself. But those are the quaddie legs. I'll leave it up for a second, but that will be it for today's live stream. Hope you enjoyed it. Next week is the first Group 1 meeting day of the Autumn Carnival here in Melbourne. It's CF4 Stakes Day. Can't wait for it. Will Jack and O stand up? I reckon he will. And I'm Thunderstruck will be close to it. But that'll be it for today, and I'll see you a lot next week. Take care, and bye for now.